It's a strange football history on the plains at Auburn. What does 2025 hold in store? Welcome to the Voice of College Football. Best discussion, debate, and analysis. Keep it right here. Please like the video and subscribe. They've got two mascots. For one thing, they've got an eagle they call the War Eagle. He descends on the stadium, of course, before every game. They also are the Tigers, much like about half the teams in college football. They contend for national championships every 10 or 15 years. They go into a horrendous slumps for a top 15 program all time in regards to wins and championships and prestige across the board. And they pack that stadium, and they've got quite the faithful despite playing second fiddle in their own state. Go back to 1983. They played the toughest schedule in the country, tied for the best record in the country, but were not voted the national champion. 10 years later, they go 11-0. Nobody else went undefeated in the country. However, they could not win the national championship because they were on probation. Let's go ahead another 11 years. The next decade, 2004, Tommy Tuberville's SEC champion. Can you imagine? An undefeated SEC champion without the opportunity to play for a national championship. In 2010, they won it all with Cam Newton. Trailing Alabama by 3 touchdowns, they pulled out the win and marched on to the national championship. And then, of course, 3 years later, following a 3-win season, a winless 0-8 SEC season, they go all the way to the national championship game, have an 18-point lead at the Rose Bowl against Florida State, blow it, and lose the BCS championship game in the final 10 seconds. 4 years later, they defeat 2 number 1 teams in 1 month, Alabama and Georgia. However, they then watch those 2 same teams play in the BCS championship game or the national championship game just a month later. And now Auburn fires its coach, Gus Malzahn. He goes 68-36 and makes it to the aforementioned SEC and national championship games. Again, 68-36, fired. They bring in Brian Harsin and now Hugh Freeze. Those 2 guys are 22-28. Welcome to Auburn football. Let's look at it for 2025. Coming off 5-7, 2-6 in the SEC, and a home loss to Cal. It was not pretty. Now, Hugh Freeze is considered an offensive guru, and by all other measurements, the Auburn program in much better shape than it was 2 years ago. The recruiting, the NIL is coming in droves, and the talent on the roster has been upgraded significantly through recruiting and the portal, but the results are not evident on the field yet through 2 seasons with Freeze at 11-14. They were 6-7, lost a bowl game to Maryland 2 years ago, and the offensive passing game was atrocious. Freeze kept Peyton Thorne, and you would think that it was atrocious again based on the numbers and the record. But actually, they went from about 120th in passing in the nation to a top 25 passing team. But again, way too many penalties, mistakes in the red zone, turnovers plagued this team. All right, Thorne's gone. Bring in Jackson Arnold, the once heralded future for Oklahoma football, who faltered, defeated Alabama. Auburn fans want to hear that, though. And then days later, he hit the transfer portal, and he's most likely going to be the starting quarterback for Hugh Freeze, although Ashton Daniels, the starter at Stanford, and the future Deuce Knight should push Jackson Arnold in August. He's got some nifty receivers in Cam Coleman, who needs a quarterback in play to make big plays, 37 catches, 8 touchdowns. And then Eric Singleton, one of the best transfer pickups of the offseason at Georgia Tech, 104 receptions in 2 years. Keandre Lambert Smith, gone after 50 catches. Jarquez Hunter, also gone, 1,200-yard rusher. And Auburn doesn't have an experienced big-time back. But between Denari Alston and Jeremiah Cobb, they succeeded 400 yards rushing combined last year, and they will be counted on this time, despite the offensive line woes that did not seem to be addressed as you would expect. Let's look at the defense. The best performance by an Auburn defense, and keep in mind for 10 or 15 years under Tuberville and Malzahn, they typically fielded one of the best defensive lines in the country. But this was the best defensive effort from an Auburn squad in 5 years, giving up just 330 yards per game and 21 points per game. Edge Keldrick Falk is back, 7 sacks, 11 TFLs. He's a projected first-round pick in the NFL draft. It's a veteran secondary coming back, led by safety Caleb Harris, 46 tackles. But again, the entire secondary is back, but thin and young at linebacker. Place kicker Alex McPherson. Interesting story here because he hit on all 13 kicks for the Tigers 2 years ago. Then he was sick and did not kick in 2024. He should be back fine and healthy here this fall. Let's look at the Auburn schedule, as everyone in the SEC plays the same exact opponents as they did in 2024, just the home and away situation is completely reversed. Auburn goes to Baylor. This reminds me of their trip to Kansas State in the Big 12 about 10 years ago. Then a brutal early stretch in the SEC. 4 consecutive games look like this: Oklahoma, Texas A&M, Georgia, and Mizzou. Then it eases up considerably before the Iron Bowl at home against Alabama. Gus Malzahn is probably on the hot seat. He should be on the hot seat with only 11 wins in 25 games. He saves his job, but it is not a remarkable recovery for Auburn. 8-4 overall. They win that trip to Baylor, but they lose 4 games to the SEC against a tough early stretch. Your comments and questions down below on the Auburn Tigers. Please join us for our Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time slot right here at the Voice of College Football, the College Football Show. Again, it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. We take your calls. We'll see you then.